everybody, this is Kiara. It's May 9th, 2020, and we're going to do our tri-weekly meditation practice again. I also wanted to remind people that we're doing monthly webinars. The first one will be starting immediately after we finish with this session, so see some of you then. And the next one is going to be June 6th and 7th, which is a weekend, and then June 10th to 12th. So it's a 5-day webinar. So it's about just deepening into who we are, using practices from Inca traditions, from Ilahinur, and awareness of the Advaita traditions and various other mystery schools. So please join if you would like to. What I would like to do today, actually I'm not sure what I'd like to do today. Anything people want to ask me, any questions or comments, or the experiences that you've been having that you would like to get some clarity with. I know there's so much going on these days in so many different ways. I think it's nice just to connect, to be with each other in this way, to know that our hearts are connected collectively with each other, with Gaia, with our higher, deeper self. And that's really why we're here on this earth at this time. And how can we deepen that even more? How can we reconnect with who we are, who we're meant to be, and that we've forgotten? So when we come in as a child, sometimes those questions are not really there because they don't need to be there. We are aware, we are connected. And then gradually we find ourselves disconnected and we start wondering, what am I doing here on this planet? What am I doing here in this particular family, in this particular country, in this particular situation? And the answers start coming as we open. And part of what I'm discovering is that it's a lot about timing. We are here at this time in Earth's history, in our own planetary and collective history, because this is why we're born. We are born with a specific purpose, with a specific mission, and for many of us it's just now beginning, these times that we're experiencing. Fabulous and exciting times, even though it can be a little bit disturbing and troublesome to go through what we go through in daily life, especially in times where we are going through repercussions from all the events around this COVID-19. And in different blog series I've been talking about what this is really about, if we can go underneath the veils. I'm not going to speak so much about that here, but it's simply time to remember why we're here, and remember that the veils that are here around us are only that if we allow that to be. If we choose to wake up, whether it has to do with spiritual truth or awareness of our political, economic, social situation, then it's about stepping into our power. All right, so there's a question from Shivani. Hi, at times loads of heaviness over crown area, and sometimes uneasiness takes over. Why is this happening? Well, I think the crown represents our connection with Source, and there's almost like a collective veil that's been placed over this. And there's the collective human consciousness, there's perhaps various entities that are involved in this who are not here for the support of Mother Earth. And at the same, it could also be for some of us that is a timing key. So when the time is right, that cap is lifted. And until then, we need to work with resolving our inner conflicts, our inner dualities, our inner fears. And that comes as we go deeper into our bodies, deeper into the lower chakras, especially having to do with the first chakra, second chakra, third chakra, which have to do with our fears around survival, fears around relating, our fears around power, how we have given up power, how it allows us to be manipulated and controlled by each other, how we manipulate others in turn because we don't trust ourselves, because we don't trust who we are. So all of that keeps our hearts closed, and it keeps our spirit veiled off. And sometimes the journey there is by directly confronting the fear, directly confronting the hucha, the blockages, the resistances, the addictions and attachments that we have in our life that keep us in this matrix. And sometimes it's about just blasting our way through, knowing when the time has come, trusting that there's a divine force behind us, guiding us, supporting us, moving us. And that's bigger than ourselves, bigger than anything we know, anything we've known in the past. And now it's time to step into who we are, in our power, in our wisdom, in our love, in our beauty, in our being. And for many of us, it is the right time. And it's like that Crown Chakra is awakening, opening in a way that we haven't expected before. And sometimes it's a bit overwhelming. What I mean by that is we open to the light, and then what comes up is the next layer of the shadow. Because we cannot handle too much light at once. Otherwise we would self-destruct, and nervous system would get overwhelmed. Our mental capacity to integrate the new concepts or realities would shut down. So it's like, too much current running through an electrical circuit, and then the fuse breaks. So gradually we can begin to open up more and more and more. The Inca practices that we've been working with are good support for that. So basically what that means is we open the door to the upper world, we open the door to the lower world, and the light frequencies start moving through, electrical as well as magnetic. And as these two frequencies start to interact with each other, it opens us up to layers of our being that are very natural, but we may not be so aware of. So what happens then is we start opening to the realm of the soul, what some call the causal body. And from that space, realize that there's never been any separation, that anything we think is about disconnection or separation is simply one level of reality. It's only a third dimensional reality which we've bought into, but now it's time to climb out. It's like, we've become so accustomed to it, we cannot imagine that there's something different. And so somehow the energy frequencies on this earth are getting more refined. Last time we spoke about Peter Donov, the Bulgarian mystic, and his prophecy about what would be taking place right around this time. Sri Aurobindo speaks about the supramental descent as well. The Lahinur work that we've been discovering and sharing and practicing is also about this unified field that's now stepping in. We can allow that to step into our bodies, into the cells, into our deep emotional heart, and transform our perceptions and perspectives and our paradigms about reality in a way that we can allow something beyond ourselves to start moving without so much resistance and fear. So let me actually read you a little bit from this prophecy. So he's a Bulgarian mystic who died in 1944, right at the end of World War II. And he was a contemporary of Sri Aurobindo. And they both spoke about these powerful energies that were coming in, that were transforming planetary reality, transforming our reality as a collective unit, as a planetary consciousness. And what they were saying is that when the time comes, nothing can stop this. If we resist it, we'll get broken. It's like the Hopis also say the same thing. They say the river is rising, and there's nothing we can do to stop it. We try and hold on to the banks, try and hold on to our protection, our security, the familiar place that we know. But the more we try to hold on, the river continues to rise. Eventually it grabs us and we must surrender. And then we discover that the river knows where it's going all along, and there's nothing to fear. We simply dissolve into the great ocean, become one with the ocean of life, the ocean of consciousness, which we started off from, which is our true nature. So that's the journey now. So let me just read a couple lines from him. All right, the gradual improvement is already occurring in the thoughts, sentiments, and acts of humans, but everybody will soon be subjugated to divine fire that will purify and prepare them in regards to the new era. Thus man will raise himself to a superior degree of consciousness, indispensable to his entrance to the new life. This is what one understands by ascension. Although the inhabitants of this planet do not all find themselves at the same degree of evolution, the new wave will be felt by each one of us, and not just here on Earth, but around the cosmos. The best and only thing that we can do now is turn towards God, whatever that means for us, and improve ourselves consciously to elevate our vibratory level so as to find ourselves in harmony with this powerful wave that will soon submerge us. The fire of which I speak, that accompanies the new conditions offered to our planet, will rejuvenate, purify, reconstruct everything. Matter will be refined. Our hearts will be liberated from anguish, troubles, incertitude. They will become luminous. Everything will be improved, elevated. Thoughts, sentiments, and negative acts will be consumed and destroyed. Everything that is around you will soon collapse and disappear. Nothing will be left of this civilization, nor its perversity. The entire earth will be shaken, and no trace will be left of this erroneous culture that maintains men under the yoke of ignorance. And then he talks about earthquakes and so on. Many prophecies, many predictions in recent times have focused on some of the destructive aspects of this purification: massive earthquake activity, volcanic eruptions, magnetic reversals, and possibly crustal plate displacements where entire continents could get inundated, new land arise. People talk about galactic superwaves and solar flashes. All of this could be extinction level events. However, it doesn't mean that this is necessarily so in this cycle. There are memories of earlier cycles where we've gone through certain dissolutions and then reconstructions. This particular cycle may be different. It has to do with a gradual progression. The same events that are coming our way, like this divine fire, this cosmic electricity, may not have the same effects simply because of the supramental force, this unified energy that's here on this earth now. Ilahinur, that's another way to express this and to work with it so that we can receive that frequency into the body. So this is a time, like Shivani is saying, that we can actually open up aspects of the Crown Chakra that have never been possible before for any one of us. So it's like, we're right up against that edge of possibility. We're understanding aspects of ourselves that have been hidden. And because of this, sometimes we're pushed through extreme fluctuations, swings of the pendulum, so we can be prepared, so we can find heart, find our courage, and then break down those walls. We sometimes experience so much frustration, so much helplessness, rage, fear, sadness, grief, about the fact that we don't think that we have so much power to change things. We experience what's happening around us and feel like a victim. How do we face these times? How do we resist what's going on around us with, all the draconian measures being taken all over the world to suppress our freedoms, we could go into this for an hour, how this is happening and the strategies being used for this. But this energy that's coming in, this cosmic electricity, the supramental force, is stronger. And it's stronger because there's no opposition here. It's not like dark and light are opposites of each other and one is stronger than the other. No, darkness is not stronger than light. Light isn't stronger than darkness. They're all aspects of one energy field. We can either resist that or flow with it. If we flow with it, we find that everything we experience is part of our journey of awakening, and that we've already chosen this. There's nothing we can do anymore to stop this, or anyone can do to stop this. And this to me is, it's a profound revelation. The entire prophecy, there's pages of this, and I refer to this in some of my blogs on Facebook. There's a whole series I'm writing about this particular cosmic electricity. But I'll just say one more thing here. The new era is that of the sixth race. Your predestination is to prepare yourself for it, to welcome it, and to live it. The sixth race. So the Incas also talk about the sixth sun, or the sixth level of consciousness. The sixth race will build itself around the idea of fraternity. Fraternity meaning brotherhood, sisterhood, connectedness, the web of life, not only with human others, but with other species on this earth, visible and invisible, that inhabit these dimensions. There will be no more conflicts of personal interest. The single aspiration of each one of us will be to conform ourselves to the law of love. The sixth race is about love. And then he says a new continent will be formed for it. It will emerge from the Pacific, so that the Most High can finally establish his place on this planet. Now I'm not sure what this means, whether it means that there will be earth changes preceding this, or if it's symbolic of something that's arising from the West, from the Pacific, the West Coast of the Americas, Baja California, California, Oregon, Washington, then the West Coast of South America. All these regions is somehow connected with what Drunvalo Melchizedek refers to as the serpent of light. It's like this is where the ley lines are moving now. The acupuncture meridians of the earth have been focused in this region to awaken, to awaken human consciousness here. And so this could be the new continent, the new consciousness that's emerging from the Pacific coast, so that the Most High can firmly establish her place on this planet. So I see this as something that's not so much in this timeline having to do with outward destruction. It's about an inner transmutation that affects the outer circumstances, so that we can move fluidly from third dimensional consciousness into fourth and then fifth and sixth dimensional consciousness. Whatever that might mean for you. Some people talk about ascension, other people talk about descension. It's really the same thing. It's a time when universal energies are harmonizing with human and planetary energies in such a way that all these streams are coming together, all the worlds are linking up. So it's a good time to be here. It's the time that we've chosen to be here collectively to assist Mother Earth. She's the one who's called us here, invited us here at this time. We've answered that call and we're here. And there's enough of us here that this transformation is assured. So opening the Crown Chakra is just one part of it. It's the first step. And then allowing these frequencies to enter in through the body into the lower chakras, into activating a cellular system, into bringing these energies down into the body of the earth, awakening a cellular wisdom. This is what we're here for. So let's do it. Let's do it. All right, so let's do a short meditation to open those doors. All right, so imagine yourself surrounded by a bubble of light extending about 6 feet, 2 meters around you in each direction. So this is the boundary of the middle world, your personal self. And right over this bubble, there's a window. It's a circular window that can be opened now. Just open that as wide as you can. And you're inviting this unified light, the supramental field, the Lainur energy, extremely refined, high vibrational field of light. As you receive this, notice what you experience in your body. From the Crown Chakra going downwards, all the way through the physical body, down to the earth. And also through the window into the rest of the bubble. So the etheric body, the mental body, the emotional body, our thoughts, our feelings, a sense of who we are, our meridians and chakras that extend out beyond the physical body, the nadis. So all of this is the prana field, and the prana field connects with intelligence fields and memory fields and emotive fields beyond the physical form. We're simply entering and interacting with these fields, allowing this high vibrational energy to come all the way through, down to the earth, to be received by her for her transformation. And then there's a response from the earth. Everything that flows in the universe, there's always a circle movement in one direction followed by movement in the other direction. So as Mother Earth receives these frequencies of light from above, these electrical refined forces, there's a direct immediate response. So there's a magnetic force now that starts to move up in response to the electrical force coming down. And this magnetic force is very healing, nurturing, loving. It's warm, it's heavy. You feel it entering into the cells of your body, stabilizing, balancing, opening the heart, releasing the fear. And you feel the interaction between this magnetic field moving up and the electrical field moving down. And as these two fields interact, you find yourself expanding. You find yourself connecting with your causal body, the fifth body beyond the physical, etheric, emotional, and mental bodies. And through the soul body, you find yourself linking up with all of life around you. You find yourself expanding out through the biosphere, regions of space around you, including other people, other species, the trees, the forests, the earth, the rivers, the mountains, the lakes, the wind. Going below the earth into regions of magma, connecting with the dragon energies below. Above the earth to connect with the sylphs, the dragons of air, elemental beings from all around us. And you feel yourself connecting all the way in to the heart of the earth, to the heart of Gaia, to the soul of Gaia. And here, let yourself rest for now. See how you are one with the soul of Gaia. You're not separate. There is an aspect of us that's human. There's an aspect of us that's planetary. There's an aspect of us that's cosmic. And there's an aspect of us that's beyond anything in form, anything in creation, time and space. And all these different aspects of us are merging together, coming into harmony and union. So allow yourself to sink into this still space where heart and mind, body and spirit come together. Let yourself remain here for as long as you wish. And I'll see some of you in a few minutes as we begin our webinar on Zoom. And for anyone else who might be interested in joining us for the webinar in June, please contact Jamie Franken, JamyFrenken @ hotmail.com. Blessings and love.